Okay, so if you've noticed that you've started to lose distance, what I can tell you categorically is the answer is not to try and hit the golf ball harder. When I meet students that have that type of response, all that happens is they lose even more distance. So in this video today, we're going to talk about how you're going to get effortless distance, better ball striking each and every time. I want to use Lydia Ko as an example, somebody who has a really efficient golf swing. And the first thing that will probably stand out to most of you is her body movement, the way that she really opens up and rotates the body into the downswing. And it's easy to get drawn into that idea to generate more speed. However, that's not the reason. In fact, I would tend to say a lot of golfers that I meet trying to over-rotate and do too much with the body in the downswing and not understanding the real principle of what you're looking for in the golf swing, which is to be able to control the club face. So instead of focusing on the body rotation, if you now draw your attention a little bit more to what's happening with the club face, what we'll see is the club face looks something like this, coming in towards the downswing, and in the through swing, it looks more this way. And what this essentially means is that Lydia Ko obviously understands that in the downswing, the club face is going to be open, and in the through swing, the club face is going to be closed. Having this ability to understand that your arms move to this capacity in the golf swing basically is going to help you compress the ball, and I'll share with you exactly the reasons now. So there's a couple of things that we need to understand that Lydia Ko is effectively doing so well in the golf swing. And what I thought would help us visually understand this, first of all, this red alignment stick on the floor is going to represent our target line. And I'm going to use this alignment stick and just bend it ever so slightly to resemble our swing shape. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to make sure that the low point is located under the golf ball. So can you see the way the bottom part of the semicircle is slightly ahead of the ball? And if I sort of tilt it this way, this is the thing that we don't want to be doing. This is a big amateur problem that leaks load distance. We need to make sure we're here. Now, we can also see the way that the semicircle is arced. So it's coming from the inside, then it's on the target line, and it's coming back on the inside. That's a massive part of our swing shape to understand as well. The last one would be the club face. What I've done here is I've got the alignment stick still representing my target line, and what I've done is I've put two other canes which are going to represent that swing shape which I've just previously discussed. What I said is we now need to think about the club face itself. So what happens is the club should work like so. So it's coming from the inside of the target line, square to the inside. What we also need to make sure is that the club face needs to be allowed to progressively go from an opening position, so see the way my club face is pointing to the right of the target line, to a slight closing position like so. Having the ability to do this type of motion is going to help you do something which is known as compress the ball, which basically means producing less loft. Now, what tends to happen to most golfers is they don't realise this. So they don't think about the hands and the arms, and what they start to do is think more about the body. So they start working on turning the hips and opening the hips, and all this does is it just exposes more of an opening face, which most golfers tend to then square by flipping the club, which then just produces obviously no compression and just more loft. Your body rotation has a huge influence in the golf swing. It helps you keep moving the club through, but what it doesn't do is it doesn't directly actually play a role when it comes to contact. And obviously contact for most golfers is going to lend itself to much more distance, and that's what exactly I'm trying to express in this video today. So the way that you can go and take this bit of information and practice it to become a much better ball striker is to do this drill. The first thing is we want to take the body out of it, and the best way to do this is to take this type of stance here. So the way that I've just drawn my right foot back and kept my feet in line. What this is going to do is this is going to kind of stop me excessively trying to move my body to control the contact point. The second thing then, I just want to start swinging my arms to the side of my body. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to concentrate on striking the ground where the golf ball would be located to start off with, which would look something like so. So you can see the way that I am not moving my body apart from to the point where it allows my arms to move to the side of me, but I'm just trying to strike the ground in the same place each and every time. Now, once you start to do that, then you can start to think a little bit more about what your hands and arms are doing, and this is where another alignment stick will become quite beneficial. If I place an alignment stick underneath the club and take hold of it, then the idea would be that I would get set up the same stance, and as I swing back, I just want to make sure, can you see the way the alignment stick is pointing down towards my target line? As it comes down, it continues to point down towards my target line. And then as I come in towards this through swing, I'm going to strike the ground. I'm now going to allow my arms to roll. And can you see the way that, again, the club is pointing down towards my target line? And having the capability to do this with your hands and your arms is not only going to guarantee good contact, but it's going to give you that natural feeling of how to close the club face, which is key. A great testament to this video is a student of mine, Lynn. So I went out on the golf course with Lynn a few weeks back, and let's just say it wasn't her sort of finest hour. Inconsistency in contact, inconsistency in starting direction, and I know that she's capable of much more. So we reflected upon that game of golf, and what we did is we worked on this drill. So she came to visit for a lesson, and all I did is we just spent our duration doing exactly this exercise. And what I started to see visually through the ball flight, but also on her swing, was just much better relationship of what her hands and arms are doing, which is similar to what we see with Lydia Ko. Now, Lynn's also been updating me, sending me swings over, and we know from those videos that things are starting to progress, and the body is moving, but just not on such a conscious level. Look on this drill. The whole idea of this is to make sure that you are aware of what your hands and arms are playing a big role with squaring the club face in the golf swing. It's amazing how many golfers I meet that have lost their way with the golf, and they're not doing this. They're not thinking about closing the club face. They're not thinking about the starting direction. And a little bit like Lynn, they just get a little bit lost. Now, equally, if you feel you are a little bit lost in your game, then why not reach out over onto my website for help? I have a forum, loads of videos that you can gain access to, but most importantly, I can point you back in the right direction. And similar to Lynn, and lots of golfers that I'm helping, just keep things ultra simple. This drill is really simple in terms of its idea. It stops any unnecessary movement. It gets you thinking about what your hands and arms are doing to help you control and square the club face. And that simple drill of just those alignment sticks will give you a great feeling you can take into your next round of golf. See you soon.